I talked to you toward the end of last season when you started getting a lot of reps about what you were learning, and you talked about the importance of film room. Here we are now, 8 months later. The experience that you got then and how you're able to apply it this month, how are you a better player because of that?
I feel like, there's really there's no substitute for real game experience. You can practice as much as you want, and that's really the only way to get prepared. But until you're out there, like in the fire, that's the real test, and that's how you kind of pick up on stuff, and that's kind of, you either got to sink or swim, and you build it up from there. And that's why, honestly, with this year's team, last year with the unfortunate season we had, however, we had a lot of guys that had to play a lot of snaps that probably wouldn't have played snaps due to the injuries and, just guys trying to put something in to see if it would work. So I think that's been invaluable to our team. We've been a completely different team, just from spring ball through the summer all the way up to training camp. It's a completely different feel around here.
In what couple of ways are you significantly better now than you were maybe this time of year?
I just feel like with the experience, I've put on some weight. I've had my body develop a little bit more, and then the more experience you get, the less you have to think about stuff. So it's more like you see, you can recognize blitzes, that kind of stuff a lot easier than when you're a young guy. Before you've had that real experience, it's kind of where stuff can get out of hand and get hard is when your head's spinning out there and you're trying to think too much so you can't play. So when you're thinking too much, you can't play fast, you can't play as hard as you can. So I think really the experience in that aspect that I got last season and throughout spring and all that, just being able to recognize and get more comfortable. And I think that's just honestly the biggest thing.
Learning to be around your experience next to JJ is helping him, because even though he had some experience last year, not nearly as much as you. How is that going for you?
Being next to JJ?
Being next to JJ and the experience factor that you're able to help him along with some of the things that he needs to see.
It's great. When you play, definitely. When you're younger, because I've been in those shoes before, playing, like last year I got to play next to Bentley Spain, obviously a very experienced guy, and that kind of thing. Before that I played next to, Lucas Crowley, those kind of guys, and it's just like, when you're in there, because everyone's going to slip up every once in a while, sometimes you get something backwards, you make the wrong call, but when you're in there with experienced guys next to you, that's where if you slip up, you can go, hey, and then they correct it. So it's not like you don't really miss a step. It's not a catastrophic play if somebody makes the wrong call or makes a mistake. You which is where a lot of the experience and the cohesion with the offensive line comes into play a lot.
Now going off of that, have you noticed any difference in Nathan since he it was named the starting quarterback? Has he been more demonstrative, more confident, more of a leader, that kind of thing? Or is it the same old Nathan?
I think, I've roomed with Nathan since day one. We've been roommates since we've been on campus. I live with him now. And just the work that he's put in just from the minute he stepped on campus to get it. And he was behind the scenes just working his tail off. And then he got his opportunity against Miami last year. Obviously he capitalized, finished out the season. But nothing dropped off. He kept working. And then, all throughout summer, all through spring, all that. He just works his butt off. And then once he got into camp, he's been really just whooping tail. And he's just been. He's definitely the confidence that he's built just from getting some real game experience and all that. He's a real deal.
But since Chaz's suspension.